1 for 2026. Starting off with DXY. So a couple weeks ago we had a sweep of this low here where we end up reversing higher and gave a weekly close like this, so a doji candle. Usually when we get a close like this after a sell stop raid, we see price go higher, and what had happened was price had traded into the premium of this range and then had a little reversal where we saw price retest those highs, so the previous week high, last week or this week actually, we saw price come lower and then eventually displace higher and sweep the weekly high. As of the close that we was given, so the weekly close, obviously we traded into the previous week high and deeper into this range, and we have the mitigation block we traded into as well, so that's a PD array in the premium. And then we had sort of a rejection off of this area. We closed below the weekly high. So for next week I will have two scenarios and I will let you know which one I'm leaning more towards. Firstly, I'll look at the news calendar. Monday we have FOMC and ECB, so but no major news. Wednesday we do have major news on for Trump at 2 a.m. So potentially, if we are looking for an expansion for the week, it could potentially start from Wednesday Asia session. So we could see maybe a reversal, but we'll just get into that now. But yeah, I would expect the expansion to start around midweek, so Wednesday or Thursday, unless due to the tariff news on Friday, we might open with a gap and obviously displace. But what I wanted to say was I have two scenarios and I'm sort of leaning more towards the DXY trading lower, just because if we zoom out a little bit more, we obviously had swept this 3 months high into this PD array, which is a FEG 3-month fair value gap, and then on the weekly, after that sweep we started trading down lower, and then a couple weeks ago we had this huge displacement candle lower before sweeping this this low, this sell stop. The reason I'm leaning more towards lower is because of so obviously this is sort of considered consolidation in a way. On a higher time frame, if you could see here, it's not as clean as all of this here. So I would say we swept both ends of this range here and here. This was a 3-month fair value gap, and then we started trading lower, and then we eventually got this huge weekly displacement candle, and now for me it seems like the tone might be set for the next at least month if this actually plays out. But I think I would like to see price just trade lower, obviously towards this this low, which is a previous month low. Whether we get a sweep of the previous week high or not, I'm not too sure, but I would sort of lean towards maybe not sweeping it. But obviously if we get an early week sweep of this high, so like Monday or Tuesday we get a sweep, and then we displace lower, that would just add a bit more confirmation towards this move lower. One thing to bear in mind, we do have this redelivered rebalance. Actually, no, not even. This is a small fair value gap, but I would count this whole area as a fair value gap. So it could essentially be an area for price to come down lower. Trap people in shorts here. One sec. Come down lower, trap people in shorts, people getting short here, come lower, and then you just see price go higher like this. So the two scenarios I have in mind is displacement lower, if we can get a fair value gap offered, or if we can completely displace through this, and then we could use this as a inverse, and then we trade into here, and obviously towards that low, and then the monthly low. But obviously we would be considering PD arrays at discount levels. So obviously have this area, this area, this area, all as a basically a line of resistance. Or the second scenario would be trade lower into here and then continue higher. I think that would be clear to us midweek. So around Wednesday to Thursday, that should be that should set the tone. Wednesday, Thursday should let us know which scenario is more likely to play out. If we look at the pairs we actually trade and do a little analysis on those, yeah, just the same thing for Euro really. The OTE as well, and then another thing for the DXY that would make this move lower a bit more appealing would be these here. So this built up liquidity over here, and this could sort of be considered a consolidation, so it'll be a market maker sell model. I have the same for Euro and basically the same for pound. This will be the consolidation here. As you can see, some equal highs over here. Over here we have equal highs as well, and then just built up liquidity. And for GBP USD, we have the mitigation block. It traded a bit deeper into this range because EURGBP has been displacing higher. As for EURGBP, I do think should start considering maybe a bit of a retracement from this area. As you can see, the last 2 to 3 candles actually have been held up at this area after all of this sweep, these sweeps of these highs here, and obviously traded into an order block here as well. So I would watch EURGBP, could go lower and then obviously target these lows here, but again it could just continue higher. EURGBP is a bit of a strange pair, so we'll keep a close eye on that and we'll decide on the day which pair we want to execute on. And yeah, that will be it. Just to clarify again, the two scenarios would be for down, for lower DXY will be something like this, or this, or for higher we could probably get something like this. And then obviously there's not much liquidity here to target, but yeah, we could just keep trading higher, maybe towards these highs and that high. That would be the last high that we'll be targeting before reevaluating. But yeah, those are the two scenarios, but I am leaning more towards weaker DXY going into next week.